Hello, everybody, and welcome to Books, Life, and Beyond with Michael Woodhouse. You can see on the screen there, and I am Matthew Young. And this is the brains and the idea of Michael himself there. And I'm just here, well, to ask the questions, shall we say. Hopefully, and we hope you're all doing well. So the idea of Books, Life, and Beyond really is because Michael is reaching out in stories and books. Now, this is called Woodhouse Stories. Correct, Michael?
Correct, yes. And we've got the our latest book, the Woodhouse Stories Collection, which is our main book, which has every single one of our thriller books, thriller stories in that one big book. So, yeah.
Do you know how many stories there are in this collection?
12.
12 stories. So how long is each story, would you say?
It actually depends. So some books you got like The Auntie's Son.
Every parent builds a sanctuary of soft blankets and bedtime stories. They curate a world where the monsters stay under the bed, locked away by the glow of a nightlight. They sacrifice everything just to keep that innocent smile untainted, to give them the perfect childhood. They never look closely at the soil beneath the rose bushes. They don't wonder why the neighborhood dogs stopped barking or why the air in the hallway turned cold.
They see a golden child. The neighbors see a ghost. But as the porch lights flicker out across the street, one house stays dark, because the monster didn't come from the woods.
You raised it, and now the neighborhood is screaming.
You've got other ones about dementia, which are very, very short. Only because I weren't sure on how to elaborate on certain things, so I just wanted to make it short and sweet. But yeah, no, most of them are quite straight to the action, and then you understand the reason for it, and then it's over.
So you're aiming for straightforward to the point.
Yeah, definitely.
Cutting out the start, the middle, just going from the middle and the end, really.
Yes.
And obviously, some stories, you got lots of introduction of characters. So has each story got a few characters or many characters?
Yeah, so basically all my characters are based on, it's really weird to say, like, when I went to sleep and had a dream, and I had a dream about this man on a train, and he was lost, and I woke up and I was like, don't know if I can swear, but I was like, bloody hell, that was a really, really a terrible dream. And then I just put into the idea of this guy lost, and then in my dream he was trying to run to certain platforms, and he was going in and out of people's care homes at the same time. So in my head it was like, okay, well, let's match this together. And then we made this character of a guy who had dementia and lost his wife, and then dementia got worse, and he remembers his wife on the train to Canterbury, and that's how the book then, I was like, oh, okay, brilliant, we've got a title, The Train to Canterbury.
Now, earlier on you mentioned the Auntie's Son. Was that your first one, I believe?
Yes,
for what I can remember.
Yeah. So The Auntie's Son was my very first, and weirdly enough, I done it in lockdown with my wife, obviously, and it was a very, very weird time for everyone, wasn't it, in lockdown? So then I believe I spoke to you back then as well and asked you for advice and support, and so that book then was a very amateur version of what it is now. So I actually went to a publisher in 2021, and I basically got told where to go because the book was so bad. So they told me what I had done wrong and the reason for it, and I had to learn, and I was like, okay. So after being told I had a book with them, to be told, no, it's not good enough for us, and you got to work on this.
6 years, but at the end, so you just mentioned you had good, I won't say good feedback, but sometimes any feedback can be positive as long as you just mentioned it. It's like creative criticism. So you can learn from that, as you just said. And I remember the idea that you had the idea of perhaps make it into a play or something as well for the Aunties. So
Yes.
obviously you try and do little videos with each one. I've seen like intros. because obviously you've got share a lot of these onto Facebook. And so did you ever try and progress with your Auntie Son into more, what changed with it? Did you try the story of the videos, or what made it bigger?
Yeah, so basically with the Auntie Son, I've always used this as an escape from reality, to escape my weird head. And so when I had some really terrible times at home, I wrote that book, and then with that I had a collective of friends who got together and we created an audiobook which was bloody dreadful, and I will never ever show it because it was just useless. And but that's all on me. That wasn't them. They all done amazingly. That was just me using that original book with that original plan that I had, and I literally wanted to run before I could walk. So I was like, okay, I've got a book, let's make it. And I wanted to make it into something better, of which you can't polish a turd. So I had to scrap it and start from scratch. And then the Auntie Son became better than I could ever imagine because of the help from I forgot what it's called, Austin Publishing. It was Austin someone.
So where do you feel you are now compared to then, within yourself and what you've learned?
Yeah, so from now since then, it's more about knowing what I just write a book to how I would want to read a book. So I've got a very, very short attention span. So when I read a book and I'm on chapter 4 and I'm like, this is boring me to death, I'm like, okay, I can't read anymore. And it could be the best chapter 5 and 6, but I've lost on chapter 4. And so to me, I think to myself, I'm going to write a book for someone that's like me, because I don't like reading books. Weirdly enough, I can't stand reading books, but I like reading books that are short and get to the point and have something that shouldn't be allowed, like murder, deceit, stuff that there's something really dangerous and bad, but the purpose to it isn't to scare, isn't to shock. It's to find out why that person's done it, or why that person's been saved or has been killed. And you'll come to the point of when you get to each book, you'll realize that every single book's got a meaning. And for instance, we've got a book. It's about a drug dealer, and he's basically a drug addict, alcohol addict, and he's focused on just working for this empire of gangsters to make himself successful, because he's earning from this gangster mob, selling drugs, selling prostitutes, all this kind of stuff. And it all comes down on him when he realizes that his own daughter has been captured by this group, and he's been told he's got to kill this gal, and he goes to find out it's his own daughter. And then the whole part of it is, yeah, it was great that he wanted to earn money, and he wanted to earn money quick, but then he turns out that his heart is better than his mind, where his heart knew that was wrong. So anyway, I'm not going to spoil the rest of it, but yeah.
No. Well, you mentioned we started this with the collection. Obviously, you can get these stories individually if people prefer to get individuals for a short time. Where can you get them from? That's
right. So every short story is with Lulu. So with them, Lulu's been amazing for us and supported us from minute go. And Amazon's got the big one, the Woodhouse Stories collection, and so does Lulu. The small stories are really good, but unless you're going to get it on ebook from this is my dog Luna, sorry. Unless you're going to get it on ebook from Amazon, from Lulu, to get a book from Lulu's quite expensive, depending on what kind of book you are, because they're very short stories. As you can go and buy the actual individual books on Lulu between £5 and £15 a book.
You were kind of mentioned earlier on about a lot of these are quite short stories and how you. I won't say struggled because I'm the same. I don't read the books a great deal because it is attention span or time to read these things. So a lot of short stories, like it's kind of like a lot of YouTube videos used to be really long, and now a lot of people just watching 10-15 minute TikTok videos.
Yeah.
They're a lot similar. So have you ever considered doing like more illustration, like cartoony comic type stories, putting them into that?
No, I never wanted to write books either, so I can never say what's going to happen next.
That's kind of why I mentioned that, because obviously for short stories, adding like the comic side to it can illustrate obviously what's happening, but obviously the you can then expand a story to or end a story. Just because it creates that little bit more having the pictures rather than a book full of words. I suppose I'm going there. Obviously a book full of words can be a bit daunting for some.
Absolutely.
As where like the comics can be like, okay, I can see what's going on. The brain can process it better.
I'm actually looking into right now audiobooks. So we're looking at the audiobooks kind of thing because part of selfishly again what I would like. Do you mean so? Because I've got a short attention span, like I said, I sometimes wouldn't want to read a book at night time. But I'd love to listen to a book, and so that's kind of something that I would probably look at doing with all my books. Really, is going to audiobooks, but that's down the line when it's got a bit more dough behind it.
Okay, as we said, you decided to call this Books, Life and Beyond. So we decided that we're just going to talk about your books for the first 10 minutes, which is pretty much up now. So we are going to talk other topics. So if anyone out there has got anything else you want us to try and talk about or lead to or has found interesting, just let us know as well. But I'm going to ask Michael now, what made you really start this? I know you mentioned earlier on attention span and you wanted to reach out, but was there anything a bit deeper, a reason why you wanted to reach out to people?
So basically I went through a very bad patch of mental health and stuff like that, and it year before last way that it started up, and that's when I started to bring these books in, because putting the books out there, I knew that behind each book was my writing, which was my escape from reality, which really helped me just get out of normal life and the shit that life brings. Do you know what I mean? So it's just an escape, and I thought if I can give that to anyone else, and not just reading books or listening to books, but if you write a book when you're feeling at your lowest, I really recommend it. It's the way of doing a diary without anyone knowing it's your life. And by the way, I haven't killed anyone. I haven't got dementia. It's a full story.
I used to work in care, still do in some ways, and I've dealt with a lot of dementia and all that type of thing. And obviously, it's a big issue in itself as well. Maybe we can perhaps we try and break down each story in separate videos, if that's what we can do for future. Look at each story a bit more about that. But you mentioned earlier like mental health, and today's like 2026. See so much on the news still, about like PIP situation and anxiety. You might be cut out from PIP and support and things like that. Or why are there just too many people who really do just play on it and spoil it for people who generally struggle? Let's just say that as well.
I think the help out there is amazing. I've been given so much help by the NHS, by charities who work with mental health and stuff, and I can't thank them enough. Actually, in the very beginning of the Woodhouse Stories collection, there is an opening segment that I've actually written a welcome to the book, and it mentions everything from why the books are written, and it goes into the mental health part, and it mentions who you can contact if you do feel like you have bad health, or your head's not in the right place, or you feel suicidal. And there are amazing people out there and charities who can really help. And yeah, that if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here today. And these books were the second best thing.
So what would you say to someone who's just say, get on with it?
I had someone apparently close to me tell someone that he's just making it up, and he'll come round one day. And I thought, I only found this out about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, okay, well that's fine. I'm on the other side now. Thank God I never knew when I was down. But and it just makes you realise that people don't understand still how much your head is your best friend, but also can be your worst enemy. And there's a lot of people out there today who don't recognize it, who don't support it. I think what people just need to know is that there is support, and it doesn't.
They just need somebody to reach out to and to accept that it is real. Yes, I've had plenty of lows and highs in my life. We all have. As I said, I've been told I'm too young for something, or I'm making stuff up, or exaggerating, which has never ever been the case. And like yourself, never even think about that or imagine doing that sort of stuff. We've only just said it as it is. And so if you are sort of suffering anxiety and you want to reach out, please, by all means, reach out to somebody, your friends, your loved one, your family. Don't do it alone. We all do. We all try. But at the same time, sharing should be accepted. And if someone doesn't accept you reaching out to them, that's their problem, not yours. And so once again, Michael, how do we reach your books very quickly? And we'll
Lulu or Amazon. Just go to our Facebook or Instagram to find out the links. Also below this video there'll also be links. And very quickly, Matt and everyone else, at the cinema, Scary Movie is £15. Don't waste your money. It's a pile of
I saw that this afternoon, actually.
It's useless, isn't it? Anyway.
Well, I've got a membership, so I just go whenever. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching, everybody. I am Matthew Young for Books, Life and Beyond. You can find me on Maxwell Selector on YouTube, and my Facebook actually was Michael's idea, which is Matthew's Media, because he shared about sharing photos more separately. So that's his idea. As you say, you can find Michael and Woodhouse Stories on Facebook, and everyone else. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Take care now.